Behold, the new core, a weapon of many wonders. The new core has only a 1% critical chance, but the highest critical multiplier in the game, 4 times. So you can get an epic reward if you were able to find a way to make this weapon critically strike. As you can see here, we have 14.5 times critical damage. But Zandy, you ask, how can we make a weapon with 1% critical chance critically strike? Well, this is a prime opportunity to explain the difference between multiplicative stats and additive stats. Most stats in Warframe are multiplicative. So we have Prime Pistol Gambit here. This mod says it gives 170% critical chance. But we know that that's not really 170% straight up. It's 170% of what the weapon's critical chance is. That's multiplicative. So if we put this weapon on, we're not going to get 171% critical chance. We're going to get 2.7 critical chance because this weapon's critical chance is low. So all of these mods that give you critical chance or damage or whatever are good relative to how good the weapon already is. You can't use mods to give a weapon strengths it doesn't have as often as you just use them to make a weapon's strengths even stronger. Hornet Strike gives you 220% of the weapon's damage. Barrel Diffusion gives you 120% more bullets. And even elemental mods like Convulsion give you 90% electricity damage. Well, you don't have electricity damage. It gives you 90% of your base damage as electricity damage. Multiplicative stats are just anything that's affected by the weapon's stats. So if the mod or bonus or whatever cares about what the weapon's current stats are, then that's multiplicative. Obviously, if we're going to take advantage of this crazy critical build, we're not going to be able to use multiplicative crit chance, because even if we got thousands of % bonus crit chance, this weapon's crit chance will still only be like 10%. So there's no way that multiplicative chance will help us here, which is why I've included no critical chance mods. However, there are ways to add critical chance to something instead of multiplying its crit chance. Additive crit chance can be demonstrated using the Mutilist Quanta. This weapon is very bizarre. It has a very strange primary fire that we're not going to talk about, but its secondary fire, which you can do, by the way, by checking your options, key bindings, and looking at what your secondary fire key binding is. I have mine bound to C. I'm sure that's not the default. Fires out these orbs, and as you can see, you can have 2 of them. Now these strange little orbs will combine together and do all sorts of bizarre stuff, but the important thing they do is increase the critical stats of weapons that fire through them. So if you fire this weapon's primary fire through these orbs, these bullets have increased critical stats, but they're not multiplicatively increased. This is additive crit chance. So I'm going to fight some heavy enemies, and you're going to see that when I fire the new core through a Mutilist Quanta orb, it will crit reasonably often. So we're going to deploy a bubble. These also block bullets, which is rather handy. And then we're going to fire, and as you're going to see, there's a crit. There's another crit. That's awfully consistent for a weapon with 1% critical chance. And again, we've established that even if we multiplied this weapon's critical chance by thousands of %, it would still not be that consistent. This must be adding additive crit chance. And if I had to eyeball it, I would say it's probably about 33%. It's a lot. We were critting relatively consistently, and we have basically no base crit chance. So it's additive critical stats that will make this weapon shine. Additive stats can break a lot of things in this game, but they're not widely available. There is, however, one other way to get a lot of additive critical chance. Well, there are lots of ways, but there's a readily accessible way. This is an Adarza Kavat, and it has an ability called Cat's Eye that increases your critical chance by 60% every couple of seconds. Now, 60% increased critical chance, that wouldn't be very good on the new core. You're watching a video that says it's about additive crit stats, so I think you know what's going to happen. We're going to jump in with these enemies again, and you're going to see that once my cat engages them, it will activate its Cat's Eye ability. I will begin glowing purple, and then I will have crazy crit chance. Crazy crit chance. And with that, this weapon is the world destroyer it was always meant to be. Your Adarza Kavat can even strip the armor off of enemies with its sharpened claws ability. But you'll be able to see that even without allowing it to strip the armor off these enemies, we're still going to be able to do a very impressive amount of criticals. We will begin criticals. Oh, and very consistent criticals they are, about 60% of the time in fact. For completionist's sake, here's the build I was using on my Inaros throughout that testing. Streamlined form is really helpful here because it lets you swap between your Mutilist Quanta and your new core more quickly. And again, just to be clear, you don't actually need to build on the Mutilist Quanta for it to do that thing with the orbs. I just have Twitch to make you swap to it faster. Thank you all for watching. Please do check me out on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon, which are all in the description. And subscribe if you had a good time. Check out more tutorial videos in the playlist on the screen right now. And I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. See ya!